Hello everyone, my name is Tej and today we will be looking at the remove duplicates from sorted array problem, that is also Leetcode number 26. So before starting with the question, I would suggest you go to the Leetcode website and read about this question first and then come to this because I will just be explaining the question to you and then explaining the pseudocode with the code. So coming to the explanation of the question, what the code wants from you, it wants two things basically. First of all, we have to return the number of unique elements. That is the first thing, and we have to sort the array in place. In place, first of all, means without creating a second array. So we have to sort in this array only. Sort means change the order. So we have to do it in this array only in a particular way that I'll tell in a few minutes. So first of all, the first thing that we have to do is return the count of the number of unique elements. So as you can see in this particular array, 0, 3, 5 and 6. These are the four unique elements. So we have to return 4. That is one thing that we have to return. And apart from that, we have to leave the array in the end in such a way that the first 4 elements, because in this case the number of unique elements is 4, so only the first 4 elements should contain those unique elements. So the answer should be something like 0, 3, 5 and 6. And as you can see, this is of length 6. So we can either leave these two spaces empty or we can fill absolutely any value in this. The Leetcode compiler won't care about that. We can fill anything. But for the proper functioning of the answer, for our code, we'll keep this as the final answer. 5, 6 and 5, 6. We'll modify the array in such a way that this will be the array in the end. So as you can see, the first 4 elements contain the first 4 unique elements. So I hope you understand the question. Now I'll show you the pseudocode. We will be following the 2-pointer approach right now here. So we will be using 2 pointers. So first of all, this is the array that we are given and n is the length of the array. So we will first initialize our first pointer, that is I. We will initialize it as 0. Then we will keep our second pointer in the for loop, that will be j. That will go from j equals to 1, not from 0. So j equals to 1 till j less than n, that is the complete length of the array. Okay. Then after that, what we will do is that we will start a conditional statement that will be if array I is not equal to array j. If it is equal, we can just continue. We don't want anything with that. So if it is not equal, if array I and array j are not equal, then what we have to do is array element I plus 1 should be set to array element j, and in the end just increment I. So what we have done here is that, like for the first iteration, I equals to 0. So here we have set I plus 1 equals to array j. And I really suggest you that you should try the dry run of this code on your own, for yourself, as it would give a much better understanding of the question. I could do it right here, but if you do it yourself, it would really help. So we can close it now. And for the first iteration, I should say, I would be this particular element would be changed with 3. So as you can see, we would have achieved this part. 0 and 3 would come here, and similarly the loop will keep on going and this swapping would take place and all that, and in the end we would get this particular array. So after that, we can what we have to do after coming out of the for loop, we can print I plus 1 because I is storing the index, not the actual length. As you can see here as well, this is the 5th index, right? But the length is 6, so we have to do a plus 1. So for I would be 3, so I plus 1 would be 4. So 4 would be stored here, and the Leetcode compiler doesn't want you to return the array, print the array, but you have to leave it in this format only, such that the first 4 elements should be the unique elements. So in our case, we are practicing, so we can just print the array as well. And this array would be 0, 3, 5, 6, 5, 6. So the first 4 elements are unique. So I really suggest that you try the dry run for this code because it will give a better understanding, and it is quite easy as well. So and you can see that only one for loop is used. So O n time complexity is there, and as we are not using any extra space and there is in place changing of positions of the elements, so an O1 space complexity is used. So now I will show you the code of this problem. So here we have initialized the array as 003356, the same that we took in the pseudocode, and n is the length of the array. So first we will initialize our first pointer, that is I, that is set to 0. And for the second pointer, that will be the iterator of the for loop. It would be for j equals to 1, j less than m, j plus plus. So it will iterate the complete array starting from index 1. So inside the for loop, we will check that if array I is not equal to array j plus, no, uh, yeah, array j only, sorry. Yeah, so if this is the case, if this is true, that it is not equal to array j, then we will set array I plus 1 equals to array j. If this is not the case, if this is not the condition, that is, if array I and array j are same, then we can just continue. We don't care about that situation. And after that, we can increment I. So in the end, after coming outside of the for loop, we can print I plus 1. This will be the number of, I should write here, number of unique elements in the array. Okay. And we can also print the array using this. So if I run this code now, you can see that 4 is the number of unique elements. That is true. That's 0, 3, 5, and 6. So 4 unique elements. And this is the array 0, 3, 5, 6. These 4 elements, this is what we want. And we don't care about the other elements, which can be anything, because the Leetcode compiler will only check for these first 4 elements in this particular array for this case. Apart from that, if you are showing it to an interviewer, so you can also just print the first 4 elements of the array like this. I for int k equals to 0, k less than I plus 1, because I plus 1 is 4, and k plus plus, yeah. So k, yeah. Let me run this. Yeah, as you can see, just a second. So yeah, 0, 3, 5, and 6, the first 4 unique elements. So that's about it. And it solves an O(n) time complexity and O1 space complexity. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.